Welcome to this deep dive. Our mission today really is to quickly break down the key AI moves in investment, research, and, well, governance from this past week ending November 2nd. We've got some intriguing sources that paint a picture of, frankly, huge scale hitting up against some necessary realism. Let's start with the market. Okay, the headline number, the one everyone saw. NVIDIA, $5 trillion market valuation. Just wow. First company ever to hit that.
Wow, it's a staggering number. But what's really under the hood there, that $5 trillion, it's not just about today's sales. It's the market saying, we believe NVIDIA has locked down the future, like all the infrastructure for global AI. It really shows the speculative heat in this boom.
But, okay, help me square that huge number with something else we saw. This acquisition of Marimo, the Python notebook startup, when Core Scientific picked them up, the deal's called modest. Does that mean, like, is the AI mania cooling off for the smaller guys while the giants just keep soaring? A split market?
I think that's exactly it. Yeah, the huge platforms, they're still attracting massive speculation.
Yeah.
But lower down, we're definitely seeing a shift. These smaller deals are becoming really tactical, focused, purely on practical infrastructure. It suggests investors want, concrete value, actual capability, not just the buzz. And that kind of realism, it's needed, especially when you think about the cost of actually scaling all this up.
Which, yeah, brings us right to the biggest stress point for that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Energy prices are climbing, and these massive AI data centers, they're right in the spotlight. People are starting to worry about grid strain and, frankly, what it means for their own electricity bills.
Right. And that's the real pinch point, the thing keeping CEOs awake. How do you keep growing this fast without, well, public backlash or regulators stepping in? If energy costs get out of hand, it could seriously slow down the whole AI build-out. They really need to get ahead of the sustainability angle now.
Okay, so shifting from infrastructure headaches to maybe corporate responsibility, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella put out his annual letter. He talked a lot about earning global trust. Priorities were security, quality, and AI innovation.
Yeah, and it wasn't just talk. They're putting some real numbers behind it. There's a $4 billion pledge over 5 years for AI education, schools, nonprofits, and maybe more critically, they're putting 34,000 engineers into this Secure Future initiative. That's a lot of people focused on security.
Is $4 billion? I mean, is that enough? Or is it just, good PR for a giant like Microsoft, especially when their big rival just hit $5 trillion?
Well, it's definitely significant. It sets a kind of benchmark, but it also ties directly into like the future of work piece. If you look ahead to jobs in, say, 2026, the demand isn't just for the hardcore ML engineers anymore. It's soaring for roles around security responsibility, think AI ethics, data governance. So the key thing for you, the listener, is this need for hybrid skills. Imagine someone who gets transformer models, but also really understands, say, green energy systems, using AI for predictive maintenance there. That mix, the tech skills plus deep domain knowledge that's becoming super crucial. Adaptability is key.
Right. So with all this centralized power growing, is anyone, pushing back? This seemed interesting. Pi Network Ventures, they invested in OpenMind. The idea is to build a decentralized AI and robotics framework using blockchain, Web3 governance.
Yeah, that's definitely a signal. It shows not everyone is just accepting the big centralized model. They're aiming for something more community-driven, an ecosystem where, research robotics development, it gets rewarded through tokens. Yeah. It's a direct challenge to the big players using distributed power.
Okay, let's pivot slightly. Creative applications. All this computing power. What's it enabling? There was news about startup Atom, a Y Combinator alum. They just raised, $4.1 million to take their text-to-3D tool, which went viral, and turn it into a full AI copilot.
Exactly. And that's a big deal for democratizing 3D creation. It makes the whole workflow for immersive content, think VR, AR, metaverse stuff, much smoother. It's basically pushing AI right into the mainstream creative toolkit, lowers the barrier to entry quite a bit.
That idea, lowering barriers, seems to connect to the last piece of news, too. Mira Murati, she's trying to re-energize deep learning research, championing accessibility, creativity, and open research culture.
Precisely. Her goal seems to be moving things away from just being a purely commercial race,
This is
sparking
true.
innovation through, as she put it, playful exploration. Make experimentation easier, more accessible. The hope is to bring in more diverse voices, different demographics, to drive the next wave of innovation, not just the usual suspects.
So yeah, quite a week. Unbelievable valuations on one end, but also this necessary dose of market realism, governance concerns, and that creative expansion.
It really sets up a fascinating tension. And maybe a final thought for you to chew on. You've got NVIDIA at $5 trillion needing massive infrastructure build-out, But you've also got this rising scrutiny on energy use, on sustainability. So how does the market balance that intense need for growth versus these very real constraints, especially over the next, say, 6 months? Which pressure point gives way first?
That is the end of AI Pod's weekly AI news summary. We hope this deep dive helped you catch up quickly